I'm back with another Front Row Talk podcast, the podcast with expensive opinions. Before I start, make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and you share this video. Check the description down below. I have my link for my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Before I start, make sure you tune into last episode, episode 137, where I gave my ranking with the Drake and Party Next Door album, each song. So make sure you tune into that. This is episode 138, as you can see by the title. I'll be talking about something a little bit different. I'm not talking about music or sports this week. Um, Something that I watched and I was like, yeah, I definitely got to get up on a podcast and talk about it, give my opinion on it. Um, for those who don't know, it's a documentary called, let me see, I think it's Devil in the Family, the fall off of Ruby Frankie. Um, I'm gonna give my opinion on it from what I've seen. I've seen all three episodes. It's a 3 episode series documentary or whatever. Um, but I think you should watch it, form your own opinions on it, and let me know what you think in the comments. Definitely one of the craziest or the craziest documentary I've seen, which is why I want to give my opinions on it. So let's get started. So funny thing is this is take number 2. This mic wasn't on the first time around, but it's on now. We should be good. But so it all starts. Funny, I didn't even want to watch it, the documentary, but I was like, you know what, whatever. So it's this family on YouTube, uh, who was on YouTube called Eight Passengers. It's a couple years back. I never personally watched them, and for those who did watch them, I'm pretty sure that just watching a documentary is probably like, damn, it hits a little harder, or it's kind of a bit more shocking if you watch them, on a daily basis. But it's about this family from America. They made YouTube videos, just regular vlogging. We've seen it, seen it before. It's nothing new. Um, and one day they uploaded a video, it went viral. They became, they gained a fan base. They started to get more views, started being recognized by people, fans, as I guess you could say, supporters. And it got to the point, that they got revenue off of it. Their financial situation did change. It's not like they were poor or broke. I mean, it didn't seem like it. Had a nice house, I think, even before the YouTube. But they did start, making a good amount of money. I think the mom had said that they'd make 2,000 from 2,000 to 4,000 to 6 to 8 to 10 to even $100,000 a month. So, you know, you could basically put two and two together, and know that they made a great amount of money, probably millions off of YouTube back when the channel was up. But what's so interesting and what's so crazy about it is that the mom, she started, or she used to, treat the kids bad, talk in certain ways, or shove them, or just do, stuff that that you'd be like, nah, that that's not real parenting, or that's not really being strict. It's more so abuse. Um, and I only knew this, like I said, because I never watched them religiously, like on a day-to-day basis. So I only knew this because I watched it on Hulu. But yeah, she'd do this, and there was a husband in the house. There was a dad. It didn't seem like he was really much vocal about it. She would kind of just get away with it, talking bad to the kids. Sometimes she'd have the camera up and she'd tell the kids like, "Oh, it's not your turn to talk," or force the kids to smile, or say certain things. Just kind of put them in a weird environment in their own house. So it became a pattern. It became something she started to do. It seems like she started to live for the camera, for the YouTube video, the clicks or the comments, whatever. In other words, the money got to her head, you could say, and it was affecting her family. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, she didn't realize it was affecting her family. She definitely knew, but she just didn't care. And we talking about young kids at the time. I think the oldest son now is like 18, 19, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think this was like, I don't know, probably 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. So she would do it, and it got so bad that it affected her oldest son. He didn't really want to, interact in the videos anymore. So the mom just kind of ran to a therapist or whatever to get him some help. And the reason why I say therapist, you would understand as I explain. By the way, I'm not gonna explain the whole thing, just like key moments that I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So you should still definitely go watch it. Um, but yeah, she got a whole therapist for the son to kind of help him out, and I guess she thought it was helping him out, and she was like, oh, I found the solution for the happiness of my son. My son is happier now. Like I did the right thing, and she started really believing it. So she actually started taking therapy for herself, and so did her husband. So they were all kind of taking therapy under the same person. The only thing is that the person who was giving them therapy, which is Jody, um, she had no real background in therapy. She kind of was just like manipulating people, which is really messed up, really crazy. She playing with people's lives, you know, people's mental state, and basically brainwashing them. It's a form of brainwashing. And what's crazy is that everything took a turn when, I think the mom was like, "Oh, let them know how your therapy's going or whatever." She was recording a video, and then the son was like, "Oh, it's going better, or whatever." But you had me sleeping on a beanbag in the basement for about 7 months. So he ended up saying that, and then it just took off on a video. And I think by then they'd have some type of following. They'd gain some views. Like they'd have consistent amount of views, good amount of views. So a lot of people tuned in, and listen, everybody just started getting at the mom. Started talking to her, saying that she's not a good mother, something's wrong, like save the kids, and this completely changed everything for the family, and even changed everything in the mom. So when this happened, um, everybody was getting at her. The husband was explaining that she totally changed. She's lost her mind. Um, and then I think she was just trying to gain like the audience back, or gain some type of image to the audience, trying to show them that she was somebody who she actually wasn't. You know, because by then she was treating the kids bad, telling them they can't talk. I think that they were getting so much money, that, like I said, like 100,000, 90,000 or whatever. I don't know the specific amount of number, but she would just give the kids $10 of what she'll make, and it's like, of course, no kid should manage money at a young age, but you just giving them $10 is kind of like a kid is gonna realize like, damn, like at least your oldest kid is gonna realize like, what's up, like, it seems like they weren't even getting. I'm not telling them give them thousands, but they weren't really getting what they were supposed to. Who knows if they was probably even getting spoiled, or not spoiled, but really enjoying the money how they were supposed to. They probably were, but I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't, just because of how they were treated at home. It was weird. And like I said, the husband was never really vocal, so it just made it more like, it made it seem like, damn, like, are you gonna keep letting it slide? You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, the oldest son kept taking therapy, um, with this Jody therapist person, and the mom did, and the dad. So the dad kind of got brainwashed as well. So did the mom, just being manipulated, being said, taught BS, being taught stuff that actually, isn't real. And in what form, you may ask? What the therapist was trying to take like this godly form, trying to see, make it seem like she's spreading the word of God when she really wasn't. She was trying to take God's form or whatever, like being portraying herself as if she was God, and that's, if that's nothing to play with. Dangerous game, something that you don't do. You never end up winning. Um, and she was just doing this to this family and other people too, but this family seemed like it was the one that was affected the most. Um, Affected to the point where she even moved in with the family, and in the same household. Mind you, they don't really like. Of course, it was a process between the moving in or whatever, but you don't just move anybody into your household. You don't know who you're bringing in through your door. And this is like the best form, or best. scenario of it, like if you watch this, because once she, she stepped foot in that house and that family, you know, broke apart. Um, and that's what kind of really got me the most, because the husband never really put a stop to it. Never really tried to draw a line, and if he did, he didn't try hard enough, or he just, I don't know. I don't know if he ain't had the pants, or I don't know. It gets sticky, cause excuse me, cause me personally, I ain't letting that slide, and I know a lot of other people not letting that slide. It got to the point where the therapist was sleeping in a room with not with in the room of the oldest daughter, while the oldest daughter was away at college, and then she got in the main bedroom where the husband and the wife slept, and they kicked out the husband from the main bedroom. Like, we got a word for that, but I ain't even gonna violate. You know what I'm talking about? Like, how you let that happen, bro? Like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it took a turn when the husband, he was narrating, he was talking, and he was saying that the therapist would just be in a corner with her eyes closed, doing weird stuff. Talking about saying that the family is hers. As if she was possessed. And I genuinely believe it. I mean, there's videos of it, but this is all spiritual stuff. So it's not what you see. Like most of the time, it's not really what you see. Not in the flesh is what I'm trying to say. Because of course he saw her doing that. That would have been a red flag. There was many red flags before that one, but that would have been like, come on. After that, it's like, bro, come on, you know. So yeah, it's not what you see in the flesh most of the time. A lot of stuff is spiritual. Um, and yeah, I mean, this family was spiritually broken down. They they clearly wasn't receiving the word of God, especially receiving it from somebody who was basically making fun of God, which I said is a dangerous game to play. Um, and yeah, they even kicked him out the bedroom. He no longer slept in the bedroom because quote unquote the the therapist demons were like at ease or calm when he wasn't in there. And she would sleep with the wife. Crazy stuff. So you put two and two together. Feel me? I don't want to say it, but it's crazy. Even though, even when the husband like got a Bible and was kind of like praying over her to rebuke all of that stuff, she didn't like it. So that lets you know. Feel me? If you put two and two together, I'm gonna let you watch it, see it for yourself, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I mean, it was a mess all around. He ended up getting kicked out his own house. How you the man and you getting kicked out your own house? It's happened before, but I'm saying in this way, like it's just there's a lot of stuff you could have done to save your children, your family. And once he got kicked out and she moved in, everything completely changed, like 180, like for good. So when he got kicked out with the oldest son, the one who started taking the therapy. Now it's the mom, Ruby, Jody, the therapist, and then I think two younger kids. Um, and they would always go back and forth between two homes because the therapist had her own, and then the family had their own. But yeah, the dad he went ghost for like a year plus. Didn't communicate with the family, and it's like, bro, come on, you don't do that. Like, how you just gonna leave your kids like that in a hands of somebody who you don't know, that you clearly see is not not good intentions. And of course, there's a lot in between that I'm missing. A lot of manipulation was going, a lot of probably doubt, a lot of back and forth. I'm just giving you my opinion in a summary from what I saw, but I still think you should go and watch it. Um, and yeah, they made it seem like they had a relationship going on, the mom and the therapist. It was obvious, and they made their own channel together, kind of, giving message to other families or moms or whatever, to how to treat your kid. But it gave like cult vibes. It gave weird vibes. It was whack in other words. And everybody will pick up. Everybody would say that the mom's gone crazy. She's not the same anymore. The oldest kid said the same thing. They were saying that the mom is lost. The neighbors would realize that the kids would be by themselves for days, you know, and like nothing nobody ever came through. So it was starting. A lot of people were starting to pick up on what was going on and how it was being. You know, it was a toxic environment for the kids. Um, and I mean, it got to the point where the kids were even like duct taped. You know, duct tape on their wrists, on their ankles. It was bad. They wasn't even being fed. They were being, abused. It was bad. Something that I don't wish on no kids. Nobody should do that. And they was just doing it. And it got to the point where the mom was even journaling everything that they would do to the kids. That's crazy. So that's how it lets you know that her what's the word? She damn. Her conscience didn't really let her keep all of that in, you know? And she just had to journal it down, which was used against her when, she was arrested. Um and gave, they gave the verdict that she was guilty, whatever, and she got time. But listen, that was one of the craziest things I've seen ever. The way they got caught, the son, one of the was it the son? Then one of the youngest son had went to one of the neighbors' house, duct tape and everything. Called the cops. The neighbors was like, "What's going on?" The kid, he was like 12, 11, trying to explain. Then they went to the house, knocked on the door, got in there, got the other daughter, um, and it's all on footage. Like you see all of this happening. Huge home, huge beautiful homes, like between both houses, and it was like kind of in the middle of the middle of nowhere. Like it seems like the desert. Um, so yeah, and after that, everything changed. I mean, the dad was still away. He was not aware of the kids being abused. But then it's like he was aware of like how the mom would talk, and who knows if he knew other things. Which is why a lot of people are saying like the dad should get some time as well. Some people saying the dad is not guilty. It's weird though. You knew how your kids were being talked to. You could have put a stop to it, but you didn't because you soft. Right? I'm sorry, but you soft for that, cause that's fake crazy. Um, you gotta defend your kids. You gotta also watch out who you have kids with, cause this is crazy. And I mean, I think the money also played a big part. You know, I feel like if you don't have God in your life and you have a certain amount of money, you're not gonna know what to do with it. You have no guidance. You have no real head on your shoulders, to do. So you start doing things that don't normally do, stuff that don't make you you. Um, it was a lot of points, a lot of parts, like a lot of throughout the documentary that the son and the daughter was saying like, "This is not my mom. My mom completely changed." And I mean, I believe it. I mean, we've seen it happen, from the beginning to the end. But 100% Jody, the therapist, was the one who affected the family. But you gotta put blame also on the parents for letting the therapist get into the family the way she did. I hope that the kids, fall into to a good family. I think the youngest kids are in foster system. I think, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Um, the oldest one who hated the camera, he's actually content creating. It's crazy how life works. I think the other daughter is doing something else. I'm not too sure. I don't know if the dad's gonna try to get custody of him, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like the kids are kind of gonna hold that against the mom and the dad forever. They've went through too much for many different reasons. They're gonna they're gonna say the mom abused them and the dad was kind of never really there when they needed them. I just, like I said, it doesn't. It's crazy how you just let somebody kick you out your house like that. When I was watching it, don't get me wrong, I was getting mad, but I gotta understand that this is all stuff that's happened before, and when you don't have God, in the center of your family, a lot of things can happen, and this was, a case of that. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy though. A family who was up on YouTube, doing their thing, you know, getting money, money and everything, but they was comfortable. Seemed like they were good. Then everything just changed. The mom started acting, crazy. The dad never really spoke up. They invite somebody random into their household, tear the household apart. Kids are getting abused. And I don't want to get into details what they were doing to the kids. I'm gonna let you go see that for yourself if you want to. They don't show it, but like I said, the mom writes it down, so they explain some of it. I don't want to talk on that. Um, but yeah, now the mom and the therapist are doing 30 years. So I think one of them will come out when they're 80 something, and the other one is like 70 something. It's basically life. We don't know if they even will come out. Um, but it's after you pass from this flesh. They gotta see it with the man above, what they did, and it's gonna be. I don't know. I'm human, so I can't really tell you, but if you're aware of the word of God and you know what it is. What they did was not it, especially what the kind of role the therapist was playing to other people's lives who also were aware of it, but then kind of backed away from the whole program she had, and so they didn't get affected as much as this family. And yeah, um, crazy story, crazy. Not even a story, real life situation. Like I said, go watch it. 3 episodes, and let me know what you think on it. Uh, Hopefully the kids fall into a right family, and yeah, but the craziest documentary I've seen, and I never seen a family on YouTube, so I can only imagine for those who did, it's probably hit a little harder and you're a bit more shocked than what I was. But that's it for this episode. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and you share. Check the description down below where I have my link for my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Um, Kind of wanted to come up with something a little different for this episode 138. God willing, I'll be here for episode 139. This is the second time I record all of this. I don't know if I already said that in the front. I mean, not in the front, in the beginning. I think I said that it was the wrong mic. And then I also thought my computer was messed up again, but it was a cable that wasn't connected the right way to the monitor. So I'm super duper tired, but I definitely made sure, I came up here and recorded today to give you this episode. But yeah, that's really it for this episode. Your boy Salcita is out.